Could a single government decision be about to change the lives of millions of Americans overnight? In what's being called the most significant boost to Social Security benefits in decades, Congress has just approved a historic $4,500 increase that will begin hitting bank accounts in just 72 hours. If you or someone you love depends on Social Security, SSI, or SSDI benefits, you need to understand exactly what this means for your financial future right away. Welcome back to our channel, where we bring you the most critical updates affecting your benefits and financial security. Today's news has stunned even the most seasoned policy experts, with many beneficiaries wondering, is this really happening? How will this impact my monthly payments? And most importantly, when exactly will I see this money? The legislation, which passed after months of heated debate on Capitol Hill, represents a dramatic shift in how the government approaches support for our nation's most vulnerable citizens. The $4,500 increase won't arrive as a single lump sum for most recipients, but instead will be distributed through significantly enhanced monthly payments starting this quarter. This unprecedented move comes as inflation continues to squeeze household budgets across America, with seniors and disabled Americans among those hardest hit by rising costs. This is genuinely historic, said one senior advocate who has been fighting for benefit increases for over 2 decades. We've never seen an adjustment of this magnitude implemented so quickly. The fact that payments will begin in just 3 days is nothing short of remarkable. But what exactly sparked such urgent action from a Congress that rarely moves with such speed and decisiveness? The answer lies in sobering statistics that recently came to light. Nearly 64% of Social Security recipients now rely on their benefits for at least half their income, with 1 in 4 depending on these payments for 90% or more of their financial support. With the average monthly benefit hovering around $1,700 before this increase, millions of Americans have been forced to make impossible choices between medicine, food, and housing costs. Perhaps you're wondering why this particular increase is so different from the typical cost of living adjustments we see annually. The key distinction is that this represents a fundamental recalibration of benefit levels rather than just an inflation-based tweak. Lawmakers finally acknowledged that previous formulas have consistently underestimated the true expenses seniors and disabled Americans face, especially regarding healthcare and housing costs. The implementation timeline has shocked many observers accustomed to the typically slow pace of government action. But what does payments arriving in 3 days actually mean for you personally? The answer depends on your specific situation. Those who receive benefits via direct deposit will see the increased amounts first, beginning with the payment cycle that starts exactly 72 hours from now. Those who receive physical checks will see the increase reflected in their next scheduled payment. For SSI recipients, who typically receive payments on the first of each month, the timing is particularly fortunate. The increase will be included in the very next payment cycle. SSDI beneficiaries, whose payment dates vary based on birthdays, will see their increases according to their regular payment schedule, with the first group receiving the enhanced amount in just 3 days. But what specific challenges prompted this dramatic action? Recent data revealed that over 40% of seniors have been forced to choose between filling prescriptions and buying groceries within the past 6 months. With the average senior spending $6,500 annually on healthcare costs alone, the existing benefit structure had become woefully inadequate. For SSDI recipients, who often face even higher medical expenses, the situation had grown desperate. We've been tracking these issues for years, explained one policy researcher who specializes in retirement security. But the convergence of inflation, housing costs, and medical expenses created a perfect storm that finally forced action. The data showing seniors skipping necessary medications became impossible for lawmakers to ignore. The question many are asking is, how will this $4,500 increase be distributed? Rather than a one-time payment, recipients will see higher monthly deposits that, over the course of a year, will total approximately $4,500 more than they would have received under the previous structure. This translates to roughly $375 in additional support each month, a lifeline for those struggling to make ends meet in today's economy. For someone previously receiving the average monthly Social Security benefit of $1,700, this represents a 22% increase, taking their monthly payment to approximately $2,075. For SSI recipients, whose benefits have historically been even lower, the proportional increase is even more significant, potentially lifting many above the poverty line for the first time. What makes this development particularly notable is the bipartisan support it ultimately received. In an era of intense political division, how did this measure gain backing from across the political spectrum? The answer lies partly in compelling economic research showing that increased benefits for seniors and disabled Americans flow directly back into local economies, creating what economists call a high multiplier effect. Simply put, when recipients of fixed incomes receive more money, they spend it quickly on necessities, supporting local businesses and jobs. This isn't just about compassion, though that should be reason enough, noted one economist who advised on the legislation. This is also smart economic policy. These dollars circulate rapidly through communities, often supporting the very types of local businesses that have struggled most during recent economic challenges. But what does this mean for the long-term financial stability of Social Security? You might be wondering if this increase is sustainable or just a temporary measure. According to the legislation, this recalibration establishes a new baseline for benefits, with future cost of living adjustments to be calculated from this higher starting point. The bill also includes provisions to ensure more accurate measurement of the specific costs that most impact seniors and disabled Americans, potentially leading to more appropriate adjustments in the future. The funding mechanism for this increase comes from several sources, including adjustments to the payroll tax cap that currently limits how much high-income earners contribute to the system. By raising this cap, lawmakers have created a more progressive structure that asks more from those most able to pay while protecting the benefits that millions depend on for basic survival. Are you wondering if there's anything you need to do to receive this increase? For the vast majority of beneficiaries, the answer is no. The adjustment will happen automatically. However, experts recommend checking your online Social Security account to ensure your payment information is current and accurate. This is particularly important if you've recently changed banks or moved. For those who don't yet have an online account, now might be the perfect time to set one up. The Social Security Administration's website offers a secure portal where you can monitor your benefits, track payments, and receive important updates about changes that might affect you. With such a significant adjustment about to take effect, having access to this information could prove extremely valuable. What about individuals who are not yet receiving benefits but are nearing retirement age? How will this change affect their future payments? The legislation includes provisions that will apply similar adjustments to future beneficiaries, meaning that this represents a permanent structural change rather than a one-time boost. This could significantly alter retirement planning calculations for those currently in their 50s and early 60s. One financial planner specializing in retirement issues explained it this way. For someone currently 62 who is considering whether to claim benefits now or wait until full retirement age, this change could make early claiming less financially detrimental than it would have been under the previous structure. However, the advantages of waiting still exist. They're just calculated from a higher starting point now. The timing of this announcement has particular significance given the current economic landscape. With inflation having eroded purchasing power for those on fixed incomes, this adjustment represents more than just a numeric increase. It's an acknowledgement that previous benefit levels had become insufficient to meet basic needs in today's economy. What questions should you be asking as this change goes into effect? First, how will this affect other benefits you might receive? For those who qualify for multiple programs, it's important to understand that increased Social Security or SSDI income could potentially impact eligibility for certain needs-based programs. However, the legislation includes provisions designed to prevent recipients from losing critical supports like SNAP food stamps or housing assistance due to this increase.